By the way, guys, I have not secured the wig today. I've done nothing to it. I just wore it like a hat. So if it's looking a bit off, I just couldn't be bothered to secure it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming at you guys with a foundation review. This is a highly requested foundation that you guys asked me to review, and I finally got my hands on it. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. This is it right here. Today is the day we are finally going to review this foundation because you guys kept saying, Joanna, please try this foundation for us. So we're doing that today. So I bought mine at the Beauty Bar Kenya. They have an Instagram shop, but they also have an online shop, like a physical shop in Jamia. So I got mine at 2,000 bob. So this foundation definitely falls under the affordable / drugstore foundation category. So there are a couple of claims here at the back. First of all, the biggest claim is that it conceals and perfects. It's a 2-in-1 foundation plus concealer. That's one huge claim on its own. So I'm expecting some pretty good coverage. But then again, the first claim they say is that it's medium to full coverage. I expected it to just be full coverage, but I guess they wanted to make it buildable. Then it also says it's lightweight, which I'm definitely going to be testing for that, because when you hear foundation and concealer, you don't exactly expect for it to be light or feel comfortable. You expect it to just feel heavy. So I'm definitely going to be looking out for how it feels. Oil-free formula, so if you have oily skin, I guess we'll see whether this foundation will work for you. Long wearing, water resistant, and sweat proof. Those are the claims here. I'm also going to be testing for whether it's transfer proof or how much it transfers. What else? Yeah, more or less. So one side of my face, I'm going to use a brush. Let's say this side, this is the right side of my face, I'm going to use a brush, and this side I'm going to use a sponge just to see the different levels of coverage and blendability with the two different tools. So you guys know the drill when it comes. We have done a lot of foundation reviews, so you know the drill. First, I'm going to go in with my primer. So the shade I got is number 10 Golden Tan. I'm honestly hoping that it's going to match me because I tested the shade in store, and sometimes, I don't know, it can be so tricky to test your shade inside a store. Then you come out into natural light and you're just like, what is this? So I'm hoping, okay, that's a bit light. That is definitely on the light. Oh no. This is way on the light side. Anyways, we're still going to go ahead with it. So I'm just gonna buff this into the skin, and I've even put so much. Okay. If we compare this side of the face to this side of the face, this looks a bit white cast. I don't know if it's translating, but it doesn't look cool. I mean, it doesn't look warm. It looks very cool. I don't know. Okay, also though, the coverage I've gotten with the brush is pretty good so far, but it is definitely medium coverage. But anyway, let's do this side with a sponge, and then we try and build up the coverage to see whether it's buildable into full coverage. The coverage with a sponge is not even medium, it's just full on light. I don't know if you guys can see the difference between the coverage I've gotten on this side and the coverage I've gotten on this side. And also, I don't know, the sponge has absorbed so much product, and you can still see so many of my scars coming through when I've used the sponge. So no, if you're planning on getting this foundation, I don't think a sponge is the tool of choice for you. I'm going to go in with another layer, this time using the brush. So it's definitely buildable. I will definitely say that it's built up to some pretty decent coverage, and I feel like I could still add more if I wanted to. So if you have problematic skin, acne scarring, then you can probably build up this foundation quite a bit. But there's this, it's very cool toned, I'll say that, which is weird because the shade is golden tan, so you think that it's going to be like a warm toned foundation, but it's very cool toned and it's giving me a white cast. I think the fact that it's cool toned, and on top of that the fact that it's not my shade, it's like a shade above my actual skin tone, is just giving me some sort of a white cast that I don't know if it's translating on camera, but in my mirror I am seeing a white cast. But it also feels very lightweight so far. It doesn't feel heavy at all. You can definitely see the cool tonedness if you compare the face now with the hairline. So one of you guys suggested that instead of doing a side by side after I've done all my makeup, I just do it right now with the foundation on and nothing else, so that we see realistically how the foundation looks. Because when I do the rest of my makeup, I'm adding my concealer and what. So yeah, I'm gonna do the side by side just now with nothing else on my face. Okay guys, I have done the rest of my makeup. What I did to make this foundation work that's a bit too light is that I added a powder that's my shade. I used my Fit Me Matte and Polish, and it just toned down the foundation, and now it actually looks like it matches me. So that is a tip for you guys in case you have a foundation that's too cool toned, and again it's not your skin tone, then you can wear it, because after all you spent money, you know, you spend that 2k. It would be so painful for you never to use a foundation. So what you can do is use a powder that's now your skin tone, or even a little bit darker than your skin tone. So I shall be back in a couple of hours for us to do a final side by side, and for me to give you guys my final thoughts on this foundation. Okay guys, I am back. It's pretty cold, that's the heavy jacket. It's been a couple of hours, quite a number of hours, maybe 7 hours. I was hoping for 9, but nah, it's time I remove all of this. I took off the wig. I had twists under, I just removed them. Okay, that's not why we're here. The foundation, so this is how it's looking. Before we even move forward, let's do a quick side by side. So me adding a powder that was my shade really helped. I think at some point in this video I also said that this foundation is not natural looking. Well, scratch that, it settled so beautifully into my skin. Like, I'm not even believing how good this foundation is. It settled just so well into my skin that now it's actually looking natural. And then the powder thing, using a powder that's my shade, really warmed up the foundation and just made it look good. I didn't add anything. I haven't added concealer. I've not added anything. This is just purely the foundation and a powder on top, and it really turned out so beautifully. So I am definitely pleasantly surprised. It definitely is not, it doesn't transfer well. All foundations transfer to some extent, but it's good in terms of transfer. It won't get onto everything and anything. You can hug someone very comfortable and not be scared of ruining their clothes. Lightweight, it's definitely lightweight. Long wearing, it is, but let's talk about that for a second. So there was a lot of creasing with this foundation. In fact, just before I even put the powder, the foundation I had put on my lids was creasing like crazy. Underneath my eyes has creased like crazy. I don't think you guys can see, but it's really settled into my fine lines under my eyes, despite me setting the foundation with powder. Also my smile lines really are pronounced with this foundation. And when I say pronounced, I mean pronounced, because I have smile lines without makeup, but with this foundation, the foundation is going into the smile lines and just making them stand out even more. So that's definitely not good. In terms of oil, it definitely got a bit oily and a bit shiny, because it says here that it's sweat proof. Water resistant, I didn't really test for that, but they say it's sweat proof and that it's long wearing and that it's oil free. So I was going to tell you guys if it's going to work for you if you have oily skin, because I have normal to dry. In fact, at this particular point in time, I would say I have dry skin. It definitely got greasy, because you guys can see my nose is a bit shiny, and I have, by the way guys, I've not even highlighted my face at all. Everything on my face is just a natural highlight, but it's got an oily on my nose, and then it's settled here at in these corners of the nose a lot, and it just doesn't look so good. But overall, the rest of it has performed so well. I'm actually I really, this is good. This is a good foundation. This is a good foundation. But if you have oily skin, I think it might give you some problems. Please comment down below if you have oily skin and you've used this foundation, because for me, if it's gotten a little bit oily on the nose and on my T-zone, and even a little bit over there, then for oily skin, I'm foreseeing that you'll definitely need to touch up. For me, I haven't touched up and it looks like this. So with oily skin, I think you could definitely still get away with using this foundation. I think we had already talked about the coverage. This foundation did oxidize a little bit. Like when I first put it, it gave me that white cast. It didn't look cute, but now it's really like settled. It settled into the skin, it oxidized, and then after I added the powder, we were good to go. So I'm impressed, you guys. I'm impressed with this foundation. Overall, I am very impressed with this foundation. So if you've used it, leave your comment in the leave your comment down below so that you can share with us your mini review on this foundation, for people to now finally make up their mind as to whether or not they're going to get this foundation. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.